Good evening. I'm going to have a nice shave now. I've relaxed my skin by having a nice long bath and hair wash, and I'm just about to begin the shaving process. Now, shaving for me is a tad difficult because I have what is classified as a disorder known as dyspraxia. What it is that it means I have rather poor hand-eye coordination. For years I couldn't even click my own fingers, but nowadays it's as easy as that. So, for most of my life, shaving was a bit of a bother as well. I had to use an electric razor, which didn't always get, mirrors here, didn't always get the fine cracks. So, thought I'd film myself shaving so I could inspire anyone else who's deemed dyspraxic to show them just because you have poor hand-eye coordination doesn't mean nothing is impossible. Of course, it doesn't also mean everything's going to come easy. I mean, my penmanship so poor, I have the writing abilities of a 5-year-old. But I still got a bachelor's degree in theatre, so with the rise of computers, writing's almost obsolete. There we are. Now, the annoying part, the actual shaving. Before I shave, I often have a nice little bath or a shower to get my skin pores all opened up. I start with the mustache first. I try to do this weekly, but because I ran out of razors sooner than I anticipated, this beard's been growing for 8 days. As you can see, despite my diagnosis of dyspraxia, I've quite adapted well to the shaving with my hand. I had to learn how to do this because the electric razor wasn't getting some of the finer edges under my chin. I was taught how to do this by my stepfather. I remember the first time I shaved, we'd been to swimming lessons, and because I was the oldest one there, because I had to retake swimming exams, because we went on holiday and my parents weren't very satisfied with how I was swimming. I did the whole thing with doggy paddles, can you believe it? Anyway, I had to redo lessons, and I was a lot older than some of the boys, so I often stood in the shower waiting for everyone to leave, because I did not want to be in a room with a bunch of undressed young men. Ugh. Disturbing in every sense of the word. Anyway, this one time, I don't remember why, but we had to leave in a hurry, but it was my sister that said it, and you know siblings, they tell you the truth, you think it's a lie. Well, that was me in that instance. I thought my honest sister was telling me a fib. And with that, my mother was upset for taking so long. When I got back, I put a pillowcase over my head to hide my shame. I was a very dramatic youngster. Anyway, and my sister said, "Well, you must have shaven and done it poorly." It was a terrible impression. That's what she said either way. So I put a pillowcase over my head. And I decided for a laugh to actually shave, but I didn't know we needed cream, and it hurt like a nightmare. That was the first time I shaved. The next day, my stepdad taught me how to do it properly. It doesn't mean that it's always easy. As you can see, I'm starting to bleed here. For some reason, it's always there. And I've bled in a lot of weird places while doing this. So one time I was shaving, somehow I cut my ear. I don't know how. I was just doing this. Next thing I know, blood. There's one time I was doing some last-minute inspections, but I held it a bit too close and went sideways. I tell you, that was nasty. There's one time I was doing a little scraping here, boom, edge of the nostril. So as you can see, even though I've got a good handle on this, because of my dyspraxia, sometimes my hands will slip up and I'll get cut somewhere. But there's nothing a little tissue or plasters or 3.5 minutes of crying won't fix. Let's see. I didn't even tell a lot of people I had dyspraxia till that new season of Doctor Who came out, and they introduced cream in my mouth, and they introduced that character, Ryan Sinclair. He has dyspraxia too. Played by Tosin Cole, I believe. That's how it's pronounced. I haven't looked it up in a while, since it went on the year-long break. Yeah, after he was announced and the episode aired, I started going around to everyone saying, "Oh, finally, some dyspraxic representation." And that was when a lot of my friends learned I had dyspraxia. You would have thought the poor handwriting would be a telltale sign. I really like Ryan. His dyspraxia is mentioned every now and again, but it's not his defining trait. That's how it should be with all medical disorders. You mention it's part of their trait, but you don't make it their defining trait. I remember it was a nightmare in exams because I had to have a scribe. But because of exams being in those rooms where you got to stay quiet, I had to whisper my answers to my scribe rather than being taken to another room. I could say it with more volume because sometimes they didn't hear me properly. Every exam except maths. And I got no trouble writing down numbers. Almost done. The lighting around here can be a bit poor. You can't see, but I'm reflecting off a mirror that's right there. But this part, my chin's in my shadow. So I've got to use the cream as a guiding light, like a plane coming into land. Almost done, more or less. This next part, I got to go to the centre of the room and look underneath my chin with the big mirror over there, where we keep all of our medicine. Doesn't help that this thing's getting clogged with my hair. Right, let's have a little look under here. Pretty good. Pretty much got it all. It took me years of training to be able to shave this good with my hands. Because, as I mentioned, my dyspraxia can make hand-eye coordination a little difficult. I've got poor penmanship. I have to practice with a soft ball every day so I can catch things. A lot of the times when I'm on a typewriter, I type in the wrong things and just let spell check deal with it. But the world moves on. And the world doesn't adapt to you, you adapt to the world. I think that's why they invented spell check. Right, that's more or less done. Just one final check over here. Always underneath the neck, I find. And there, that should be everything. Oh. A little bit down the lips. The part where the mustache and the beard form to make a goatee, which is weird. It's not how goats' beards work. Right, that's that. Now my face is on fire, so just Just going to apply some water to rinse off the cream and any residue hair. Rub off my face. Now I'm going to apply some of my Nevada post-shave balm, which, oh dear, that was a lot. I might want to think about replacing that soon. The bottle's feeling rather light. Let's put some of that. Now dry my hands, let this plug out, and dab on this a bit. My face isn't wet all night. Really pat it in. So, let's have a good look. Use the camera for this bit. In the morning, once it's all dried up, I like to go over it a second time. So, that's been me shaving. Dyspraxia can be hard sometimes, but with enough practice you can overcome things that you find difficult. Like I said before, when I was 11 years old, I was the only boy in my class who couldn't click his fingers. But it took about 3 years of practicing, and now I'm Thanos. Everyone, you have a nice night.